higher level of living so that when you get to heaven, here's the deal. When you get to heaven, you won't have to go to the beginner's class, because you've got a lot of things taken care of before you get there. The woman from 2 Kings came to the prophet. Her husband had served under the prophet. It tells you that. When it talked about that her husband was a part of the guild of prophets, that's a reference to something that you learned about many, many months back, that during this time in the Word of God, there were schools of the prophetic. There were prophet schools. And Elisha had a few of these schools and was in charge of them, and many young men would go. Well, this woman's husband was part of that. He went to one of those schools. That's why she says to Elisha, "You knew my husband." Because he did, okay? Elisha was responsible for several of those people. The woman's husband was a part of that. She tells Elijah that her husband had died and that the creditors are now coming to take her sons to pay off the debts that he owed. Here's an interesting point of this event that you may not have thought of before. It is teaching you that it is possible for you to love God and to be under attack by a creditor. I want you to get that, because I'm trying to release some bondage here, because we have Christian people who have financial problems in their lives and they feel like they are failing God. I'm talking about that tonight. You need to understand, just because you got money problems does not mean you're not going to heaven. Okay, we need to fix some of this. You can love God and you can be under attack from a creditor. What she is saying here is that you know that my husband loved God. That's what she's saying, Elisha. You know my husband loved God. I love this next part. Do you know what she says? But he was broke. Okay. Now hang on for a minute, because there's a real tough lesson here that I need to talk about. The reason all this is going on is because her husband was irresponsible. So here's the question. How are you going to be a good person of God, but then leave your family when you die with all these debts? Them scrambling around to find the money to pay for your funeral. We have a lot of that going on. And GoFundMe hasn't helped the situation all the time. I've been talking to you about enabling people. Okay, the one thing we should not be doing is enabling people not to be responsible. Okay, I got to stop. Many, many years ago, had a family in the church, house burnt down. Many people came up to me. We need to take a love offering this morning. We need to take a love offering this morning. We need to take a love offering for them this morning. And I said, why? Well, their house burned down. I said, okay. They do have homeowners insurance, right? Why is it the church's job to take up a love offering for you for your house to burn down when you didn't bother to be responsible and go get homeowners insurance? Come on. That's not being mean-spirited. That's being, what does the Word of God teach about finances? See, I'm taking you there today. I'm taking you there tonight. It's your responsibility. Watch this. If you're renting an apartment and it burns down, you should have homeowners insurance. She's a manager, has been a manager of rental units for renters insurance. How many places? Over 30? Over 30 years. 30 years. And what was the largest complex you managed? How many apartments? 675 apartments. And how many of those people had renters insurance? Maybe 20%. Oh, 20 out of the 675. Okay. Watch this. And here's why. Renter's insurance to cover all your stuff in your apartment only cost about $10 a month. Well, why does the church have to take up an offering you because you got $10 to go to Denny's, but you ain't got $10 to buy some insurance to pay for your stuff if it burned down? I'm just being truthful. Listen, I'm going to be apostolic tonight because I'm breaking some new ground for some folk who think it's everybody else's job to take care of them. And it's not. You got to be responsible. We went and got new iPhones today. but I didn't take it out of my tithe. Okay, just saying. Look at somebody say they're going to get uncomfortable a little bit tonight. Stay with me. Christian people can be notorious for being irresponsible and not stewarding properly what God has put into their hands. If you're driving a car, you should own car insurance. If you don't, you did not want me to be the officer to pull you over. I towed every car on the street that did not have car insurance. It's going to cost you $150 to get your car back and $500 to get it out of the tow yard. And it amazed me how all those people couldn't buy car insurance had no troubles getting their cars back. And they would ask me, "Why, man, Officer Casey, why are you doing this?" I said, "It's very simple. Watch, it's very simple. If my daughter is driving on the road, and you are too, and you crash into her, you have no insurance to fix her car." And here's what people would say to me. "Yeah, but doesn't she have uninsured motorists on her policy?" "Yeah, but it ain't for you." Right. Am I right, Officer Anderson? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. No, the uninsured motorist on my policy is to cover me. Okay? Partially for your lack of responsibility. But you need to go have homeowners insurance. And isn't it $150 right now for the ticket for no insurance? Is it $150? That's a lot of money. And you got to go to court to prove it. If you don't get it, your license is then suspended. And then if you get pulled over, you're going to jail. No passing go, none of that stuff. And then you're going to get bonded. And if you do that for a couple more times, then you're going to get revoked. And you ain't going to get a license for about 7 years. So cut it out. It's not hard to do this. This is easy. Just got to be little responsible. Okay? And you got to find a way to make it happen. All right? Now, when something tragic happens, oftentimes, Christian people will go scrambling, wanting people to take up all kinds of offerings to help them get bailed out of the trouble, when it involved all the stuff that they should have been taken care of while they were alive, instead of buying new cell phones, new TVs, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, getting your new boat, getting your new gun. I'm looking right at you because I know you buy a lot of guns. Okay? All right. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. Jim, I am so glad you're here tonight because I'm going to use you as part of my illustration in a minute. Don't get nervous. Okay? This is going to be a little tough. I'm also speaking tonight in the pastoral. So, Pastor Anderson, this is a good lesson for you because sometimes you just got to hit them where it hurts in the pastoral because that's what a father does. Am I right? A father, see, I'm talking to you now because, listen to me, if you will listen, you will keep yourselves out of a lot of trouble. Come on, I'm right about this. I am at 61 and I do have a few histories, a few life stories, situations that I have experienced, all right? So the woman says, "The creditor has come to take away my 2 sons." So watch what happens. What happens is that those who come after you should be in a better place than you. But now they are in a position of spending their time and resources trying to take care of things that you should not have left them with. I want you to get that, okay? When the woman says to the prophet, instead of giving her an answer, you got to catch this, okay? Fivefold, I want you to listen to this one because you have to do this a lot of times to people when they come to you, Christian people, and they'll hate you for it. So I'm warning you right now, okay? First thing you got to do is when people come to you to ask a question, next thing you got to do is throw a question right back. It's what goes on in the Bible all the time. Jesus was never answering people's questions immediately. He was asking them another question. See, Diane, it works. This is why you and I have such a great relationship. All right. All right. So what happens is he asked her a question. And he asked her a very interesting question. Because he says to her, when she tells him, "Man, you know, you knew my husband died. They're coming to take the kids, the creditors." Now, I call this crack begging. Okay, and here's why. Because she ain't asking him for money yet. She's just telling him about all her problems because she's waiting for him to go, well, here, you know what, can I give you a couple dollars? I'm telling you, it goes on all the time, and it goes on in churches all the time with Christian people. And you got to cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. And people do it. I don't need to know about all your personal financial problems. Those are your responsibility. Come on. Give me an amen. He asked her a question. Watch what the prophet does. He says to her immediately, he goes, what you got in your house? You know where he was, had he been me now in 2018, here's what he was going to say. What you got in your house? Take that TV and sell it, pay off your debts. You just got that from Rent-A-Center. By the time 12 months is up, you could have bought 10 TVs for what they're charging you in interest at 28%. Maybe you shouldn't have. Listen, if you need a TV, come see me. I will buy you one and charge you 18% instead of 27%. I'm more than happy to buy you a TV, and you pay me my money back every month. I'm going to make some money off you. And see, people get mad at that. They come to the church, Pastor, I'm hurt. I mean, they're going to shut my phone off, and I need $150. So I'll give you $150. That's 16%. What you talking about? Church charging me 16%. Well, that's what they charge you on your credit cards. It amazes me how many Christian people pay credit cards 15 to 27% a month and gripe about giving God 10. You don't have no trouble giving the creditor 27% a month on your money, but you won't give God 10. I'm just saying, I told you it's going to be tough. I'm up in your stuff tonight. You're going to go, I wish I wouldn't have come to church. Look at somebody say, what do you got in your house? Now, see, for you to understand the commanded blessing in this lesson, I'm talking about practical things. Okay, I'm going to talk about tonight some basic money matters, and you should not act like they don't count, because they do. Because the number one cause of divorce, watch this, the number one cause of divorce is fighting over money. The second thing is fighting over them crazy kids. And the third one is sex. And when you don't have any money and your kids are acting crazy, you ain't having, no. That is not happening. Everybody in your house got a headache now. Everybody's got a headache. And the married folk know exactly what I'm talking about. Am I right? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. The prophet says to her, what do you have in your house? He is not giving her a solution. You think. And she says, immediately, she goes, well, we don't have anything. Isn't that what people do? Come on. Well, how much? I ain't got nothing. Ain't got anything. And then all of a sudden she figured, I'm talking to the prophet. Now I can't be lying to the prophet. I'll die and go to hell. I'll die and go to hell so fast. He is looking right through me, that prophet gift. I know what's happening there. I've seen Pastor Casey look me right in the eye and just see. And I'm like, oh, I can't lie. Because you know what she does immediately? She goes, well, okay, I do have a little bit of oil. See? Yeah, we got cable. So watch what happens. Instead of giving her instructions, still, he asks another question. I love it. You know what he says? He goes, what do you want me to do? Now, there is something going on a whole lot deeper in this event than what we have seen many times. And if you read it too fast, you miss over it. What the prophet is doing with her is he is presenting her now with a test to decide whether or not she is going to carry the same spirit of irresponsibility that was left to her by her husband. Because it's a curse. What do you want me to do for you? The reason for this is because a lot of times when people get broke, they go looking for somebody else to do for them what they should have been doing for themselves the whole time. What do you want me to do for you? Because somebody next to you has asked, what do you want me to do for you? You got to ask him. Then the prophet asks a question, not by coincidence, three questions he asks. Then he does this. He goes, what do you have? Perfect witness here. Watch this. The question she answers determines the future she is going to have. When the prophet or the men of God or women of God start asking you questions, you need to stop and think about what you're going to answer, because your answer is going to determine the future that you have. The question that she chooses to answer of the prophet is going to determine the future that she is going to have. This is a very serious matter, and it is a serious matter for you as well right now, because the question that you answer determines the future that you are going to have. The question that she answers determines the future that she's going to have, because if she answers the first question, what do you want me to do for you? She is going to be dependent upon him, and her being irresponsible, wanting him to fix her problem. If she answers the second question, what do you have in your house? That is called an empowerment question, because the question is asking, what can you do about it? You want me to do something about it, or do you want to do something about it? This is important, because if I do something about it, then you're going to be stuck at a level for the rest of your life. If I'm the one doing something. You need to get this. You're putting that into other people's control now, that much control of your life. It's my job. It's not my job. Wait a minute. Is it my job to raise your kids? Because if it is, I can tell you right now, they're never going to be as good off as my kids. They're just not. If it's my job to pick where you're going to live, I can promise you this: you're never going to live in a house as nice as I live. And I'm not being mean-spirited or unfavoring. You need to understand, that's reality. Fine. Evangelist Ann Berry's come up. Amsbury. Ann Berry. Simple question. Love you? You love me, right? Yeah. I need a place to live. You're going to help me out. You're going to build me a house just like yours with a pool and a... Be honest. Say it. Say it out of your pocket. No, thank you. You may be seated. Oh, watch this. If it really, I'm hurting and I am at a terrible time. A lot of people are. Come on, give me an amen. Okay. Would you put me up in a Motel 6 a couple nights? You'd put me up in your own house for a couple nights, okay? If you knew me. Yeah, don't be bringing perfect straight. Right, okay, you'd let me stay in your house for a couple nights? Okay, there may become a time when I'm not broke, but I've had an argument that I may have to stay at your house for a couple nights. Just trying to get that on the list, all right, someplace. It's her fault. If I can't stay at home tonight, it's your fault. Do you know who sings that? Oh, I thought you were a country western guy. Aren't you a country western? You like old country, okay. Watch this. If you look at the government to take care of you, you are never going to have what you can have with the commanded blessing activated and initiated into your life. As long as you put it into somebody else's hand, you're never going to have all that God wants you to have. If you go around always with your hand out looking for somebody else to take care of your responsibilities, then they are never going to do that to the level that you could or would do it if you empowered yourself as God has. What do you have in your house? She says, I have oil. He says, go borrow vessels. You know what most people would have said today to him? Can you just get me some vessels? You got 30 people at the church. Can't say drop some off over here at my house? No. He says, oh, great. You got some oil in your house? Fine. Go get some vessels. In fact, go borrow them. Empty vessels. He was specific. And don't get a few. Get as many as you can. And then he tells her, when she gets them, go in the house, lock yourself in there with your sons, and just start pouring it out. Lesson. Find what you have and pour it out. Just find what you have. I don't care if it's 10 cents or $10,000. Find what you have and pour it out. There's a whole nother message there, but quickly, that's what we're doing with the fivefold ministry right now. We're finding out what they have, and they're starting to pour it out. And just so you know, the fivefold ministry, oh, here it comes. Look at somebody and say, get ready. This could shake you up a little bit. The fivefold ministry isn't just for men. The fivefold ministry isn't just for men. I'm going to mess you up sometime. I'm going to mess you up some. Because we have had this within the ministry. Women serving as pastors and leaders within the church. Well, they shouldn't be over the men. I got news for you. Your wife's over you more than you think. So don't give me that crap. And watch this. Watch this. If God had to depend on the men to get it all done for the kingdom, we wouldn't be where we are now in Christianity. So let's just be truthful and honest about it. The reason why God had to empower the women is because the majority of the men refused to take their position as high priest in their home. Now, I'm not saying all men. I'm talking about the majority. Okay. Now, I understand order and protocol and submission and all those things. But sometimes we take that out of balance, is what I'm saying. In fact, oh, yes, hey, buddy. In fact, next Saturday night, okay, we have a special guest speaker coming. And I normally don't ever tell you in advance. I'm telling you because I'm going to find out just how true what I'm saying tonight is true. Because when I tell you next week's special speaker is a female, some of you may go, well, I'm not coming. Now, that probably won't happen in this church, but I can tell you right now, I've been to a lot of churches where that would happen, okay? And it's important that we get used to that. Cindy has spoke many times in the house, okay? And I understand those protocols, but when a man is not available to serve in key leadership, God's got to use somebody. What do you want him to do? I know he has used donkeys before, that talk, but that would scare people even more than a woman. Or a snake, I don't want none of that. There are some, and whether you like it or not, men, there are some women that are a whole lot more smarter than you and know more about God than you. I know it's hard for you. I'm rubbing on your manhood a little bit tonight. That's okay. I'm rubbing on my own too. That's why God and I had to have a long talk about me even doing this. What we're trying to do, though, is take what we have and pour it out. Right here on this point, most people would have to stop and think about this, because as the prophet is telling her to pour out, you have to realize that this is pretty much counterintuitive to what most people are thinking. It's the opposite. Because for most of us, we would think that the thing that a person in lack should do is not be pouring out and pouring out. If a person is hurting financially, they should be holding on. That's what the enemy wants you to do. Right. God says, no, you pour out. You pour out to me. You pour out to my house. You pour out. You are faithful in what you're doing, and I will bless you. This is why we do the first fruit offering every year. You're pouring out. You're pouring out. I have given a 100 guarantee return policy with the first fruit offering for over 16 years. And that is this: if you participate in the first fruit offering and God does not meet your financial needs, we will return your money with no questions asked and no interest, but you'll get your money back. Because I want you to understand that the power of the first fruit offering is there to help you to pour out and to pour out. And you don't have to participate. You don't have to participate. I'm not going to be upset if you don't participate. Some of you have not participated for many years, and I have never not shook your hand or said, hi, that's not what this is about. This is not about me judging you. This is about me trying to encourage you to take a step in your faith, quoting, that you haven't taken yet, that you may begin to see God reveal himself in some ways you never thought possible, just like happened to her. She gets the oil and starts filling them all up till they're done. And I know what happened. Her sons are going, darn it, Mom, we should have got more. There's a lesson there for us too. And then the prophet says this. Watch, he says, get the oil, sell the oil, and get a new camel. Not what he said. He said, get the oil, sell the oil, and get a New Jersey cow for milk. Didn't say that. He said, sell the oil, get the oil, sell the oil, and pay off your bills. That's what he said. And then you and your children go live on the rest. Do you know what this is? Didn't hit me till a few months back. This whole little lesson, you know what it's about? It's a formula. This is a formula on how you get a miracle. Sweet, stand. Mike, make sure it's recorded. Turn it on. Got it? Perfect. Jason, go ahead, Mike.
I wish I had written it down. I guess it was yesterday, and I thought I heard a thing, and I was like, "What in the world?" I heard very clearly, "Getting into heaven is not a formula." Like, said that sentence, and I was like, "Okay, whatever that's about." No context. And then today, I heard him say that there are formulas in the Bible. They're not for salvation, but there are formulas. Go find them.
But there's a formula for salvation too. You got to confess.
It's truly, there is a pattern for salvation.
Okay, all right. I'll take
why
the pattern.
I say formula in that context because it's not an irreversible formula.
Here he goes. Did you love it? The teaching deal. Here he goes. Okay.
Formulas are reversible, and like you can get saved and then you can deny Christ. You have the option of reversing that formula.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But
yeah.
And you have the option of anything. Ultimately, you have free will. But this is a formula. This is an actual formula that activates something, and there are more of them in the Bible. I'm hearing that there are more. We have to go find them.
Right.
But I think it's important for us as a faith, as Christians, to stop teaching that getting saved is a formula. No matter what you do, no matter how you live your life, if you say these things and you do these things, then whoosh, everything's fine. You're going to heaven. But you're going broke, and you're going drunk, and you're going messed up and dysfunctional and all those things. If the formula doesn't fix all that. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes. You get that? You get where he's going? The formula doesn't fix that. Just because you have given your life to Jesus doesn't mean now you're going to have $10,000 in the bank and no more bills. Right. Okay, there are things that you have to go fix. Or you have to sit down. I got to keep moving. Okay. Oh, he already cut you off. Jason already muted you. Wow. Formula to get a miracle. 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 First, she had to go get the oil. First formula, you got to do your part. Formula for a miracle is you got to do your part, okay? Second thing is you have to be a good steward. Sell the oil. Then you have to be a responsible steward. You got to take that money and start where it needs to be started, in paying off your debts. All right, say this. I will make some money. Pay the debt. I will, and my children will live on the rest. Clap your hands. Real quick. Miss Kathy works in the financial service industry. Okay, I worked in the same industry many, many years ago in a little different capacity. Not much in reality, just with some we had some different philosophies of that industry. Did estate planning, financial planning, personal family planning, budgeting, and those kinds of issues. There are some things about being a good steward and ushering in the commanded blessing. You are not going to get the commanded blessing of God into your life that all God wants to give you if you are not being responsible with some basic truths. All right? Number one, credit score. Credit score. Part of the problem we have in our country right now is we're not even teaching this information in junior high, and it should start in junior high, because by the time children, in fact, some children, even in grade school, are getting applications from credit card companies for credit cards, even as children. Okay, and what is happening is we now have more high schoolers in credit card debt than ever before in the history of our country, because they get inundated with it, because their credit gets out there, because their Social Security gets out there, because they're buying a cell phone in their name, vehicles, things of that sort. So it all goes out there. Credit score is very important for you. Most of you understand it, but you would not believe how many people don't, okay? That credit score is going to determine where you rank from a A+ being a good credit score, meaning you're a good person financially, you pay your bills on time, and to an F. Okay, credit scores go from 350 up to 850, 900, right in there. There's 3 major credit card companies that rate your credit score, and I can tell you right now, the system is messed up. Okay, but there are things that you can do to improve your credit score. Okay, there are things you do. First thing you got to do, if you got a stinky credit score, here's how it works: get a copy of your credit score from all 3 companies. Experian, or however you say that, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. They've already lost most of your information anyway. So you are allowed a free one because they messed up and sold your information and let people hack into it. So get a copy of your credit report. We did this, Cindy and I did this many years ago, and you would not believe how much junk was on there that didn't even belong to us. It belonged to other people named Jerry Casey. Okay? Or somebody, or I applied for something one time and all of a sudden, boom, this happened. You got to get your credit report and start going through that thing. Cindy's done this. There are people in the church who can help you work through this. And then what you do is you start calling those companies, trying to get that garbage off your credit report, okay? And you can. A lot of it to do. And then if there's bills on there that you don't remember, you have the legal right to say, hey, you've got this, I've got this bill from this company. You call the company, you say I owe you this money. I need you to send me a copy of the invoice of why I owe you this money, why it's delinquent, or you need to get that off my credit report. And they have a certain timeline. They have to get that done. And they will. Okay, so you got to check into that credit score, and you got to do, and there are ways to get it pushed up, and it didn't get bad overnight. It ain't getting fixed overnight, and they are slow to fix it. Okay, they just are. And there are certain ways to do it. Getting a secured credit card, take $200 and go buy a credit card for $200 that has a $200 limit on it. And every month you pay that little bad boy off, and you never charge more than $200 on it. And you may never, and you may not be able to ever raise that. Someday they'll let you give it without the money backing it up, but you may not want that. You may not need that. So you've got to check into your credit score and start doing it. So rebuilding that credit. Now, watch this. Many times people have gone through horrible financial situations. There's a thing called bankruptcy. You will not die and go to hell as a Christian if you file bankruptcy. Just let you know. Okay? If so, Donald Trump been gone a long time ago. President Trump, sorry about that. Because I think that his companies have filed 3 times, okay? Here's the thing, so you need to understand. Chapter 7 is complete, clean it all up, done, finished. You cannot file Chapter 7 bankruptcy on IRS debt or college debt. Everything else you can. Now watch this. If you think God is going to be kind to you because you purposely go up and charge up your credit card so you can have bankruptcy, God's not going to be happy about that. That's being even more irresponsible. Okay? That's just worse. Chapter 7 is better than chapter 11. Don't care what you hear on TV. Okay? Your pastor did this stuff for years. Okay? You need to come to me before you do stuff. Never want to file Chapter 11. You should not file Chapter 11 because all Chapter 11 does, Chapter 11 has been instituted and is controlled by credit counseling companies who are employed by the credit card companies. Credit card companies love Chapter 11 because they don't have to wash off the debt. You just get to pay it in a lower amount over the rest of your life till Jesus comes. That's not a fresh start. And it's difficult. If you want to do that, it's okay. I'm not mad at you with whatever you want to do, okay? But if you need a fresh start and a new start, Chapter 7 bankruptcy is not a bad thing to do. It's going to, now here's what it will do. You ain't getting no credit for the next 3 to 5 years, baby, so you better not plan on trying to borrow any money because you ain't getting that, okay? It's like if you can't lose weight, have them take part of your stomach out, okay? You ain't putting on no weight, okay? There's all kinds of stuff. It helps you. But also at the same time, there are ways to do it. There are lawyers out there that never find a lawyer off the internet. You never find a lawyer on Yelp or Yellow Pages. You don't, first off, don't ever try to find a lawyer that's got a discount. Okay, if a lawyer's offering you a discount, you don't want to hire him as a lawyer or her. Okay, you get suggestions about a lawyer from people who have a lawyer who can give you suggestions, and I can do that. No matter what field you're having a lawsuit in, come to me. My attorney will give you a name of somebody in that field. I can promise you it's going to be good. Am I right about that? Okay. So understand, that's important for you to do. Okay? Questions? Any questions right there real quick? All right. Life insurance. Life insurance, and Kathy and I have some same opinions of this, and we also may have some different opinions of this. There are hundreds of different type of life insurance policies. Some of them are terrible. They're horrible. They're not for you. Some of them are okay, and some of them are what they are because that's just what they are. They're for, if you die, your family gets some money. If you don't die, you don't get anything. It's like your car insurance. If you have a car accident, you get some money to fix your car. If you don't have a car accident, you don't get anything. And when you cancel it, you don't get anything back. Some life insurance policies will give you some of your money back. Life insurance is not an investment. Kathy may disagree with this on some issues, and she for some people, watch now, for some people, it may be a good investment because they refuse to save money any other way. Okay? She works for a life insurance company. That does not make her a bad person. Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it does to you. But just because it's a Christian company don't mean no crooks work there. Okay? It's like saying everybody in the military is honest and upholding. No, they're not. Okay? A lot of the rape that goes on in the military is military on military. I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to be real. I got news for you. There's some crooked preachers out there too. Am I right? Okay. All right. So, life insurance. Dozens of different types of policies. If you have no clue what you own, call Kathy. She can come over, read it, boom, boom, boom. She'll tell you. Okay? She'll make you some suggestions based on all your financial background, family, and your history and what you got going of things that can help you. Okay? If you don't like it and don't want it, tell her, I don't like this, I don't want it, I don't want to buy it, it's too expensive. She's not going to ignore you at church. Okay? She's an adult. Am I right or not? Okay. She tried to set up an appointment with us. That's when we said, no, we don't want to talk to you. And it was okay. We still talk to each other, love each other. We've known each other for years. Okay? Everybody needs to chill. Am I right? People just need to chill about. She's going to make suggestions to you based on the products that she has. And here's one thing she will do. If she can't help you, she's going to tell you that. Or she'll make a suggestion to do something else. Okay? When you're young, you need life insurance. Christina, if you don't have a lot of debt or anything, first off, your parents ain't paying your debts when you die. You're an adult. Am I right? Okay. You ain't got a husband. You ain't got no kids. If you die, all you need is enough money to put you in the ground if you want to go there. If you just want to be cremated, you can get that bad boy done for about $700. Okay. Cindy and I are getting cremated. There's a place in St. Louis. You can buy a cremation policy. Lasts for the rest of your life. Costs you $1,200. I'm not doing the funeral thing. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not wasting $12,000 on a dead body. I'm getting a new one. Okay? I don't care what happens to this one. This is going to be old and wore out by the time I die. I want one of those, Justin Bieber bodies, somebody that's young. I want a young body. I don't want an old body when I get to heaven. I want somebody in their 20s. I don't care if you like his music or not, or his character. I want his body. Slim and trim and look good. Oh, yeah, I don't want it like that. I don't want it like that. I don't want it like that. Okay, I don't want his body like that. I have a wife and happily married 39. It's okay. All right. Life insurance. Right now, I'm going to give an example. Cindy and I have what's called decreasing term life insurance. In that, as the years go by now, my life insurance is going down to nothing by the time I'm 70. And the reason why is we're going to have a whole lot more money saved up by then. So if I die, she can take that money and call Waste Management and have a party, and just throw me out at the curb. I don't care what she does at that point, okay? But when you're old, you shouldn't need as much life insurance, and enough at least to bury you. If you're going to go through that kind of thing, if you want to waste $10,000 of your hard-earned money on a funeral and give it to the funeral home, that's your business. You waste your money any way you want. You work for it, okay? It's your money. Give me an amen, okay? I'm just not. Don't be mad at me. If you want to save your body, so when you get to heaven, Jesus is going to raise that one up and give you that one back. Okay for you. But I'm getting me a new one. Okay. Next thing. Retirement plans. If you work at a company that offers a retirement plan, you can take advantage of everything. 401ks are awesome. Best thing you can do, okay? There's self-funded retirement plans, like you have the IRAs and you have the SEP IRAs or Roth IRAs. Those kinds of things are good for you to save money with. They may help you with your taxes and those kind of things. Tax returns. If you like getting your tax return every year, a couple $1,000, $4,000, it's great. But here's what you should be doing. If you like getting a tax return, you should call me. And what we will do is we will change your deductions on your employment so you don't get any money back from the government. You're going to give me that money at each week instead. I will save it for you, and I will give it back to you at the end of the year at 0%. Because that's what the government's giving you. You're investing your money every year with the federal government at 0%. You never get any money on an interest on a tax return. If you don't mind doing that, give it to your pastor. Because here's what I'm doing. I'm going to take your money, and I'm going to make money on it all year. But I'll give it back to you at 0%. You shouldn't be upset at that. You've been letting the government do it all the time. Am I right? That's right. I mean, this is how I used to do business with people. And I was very successful because people go, man, that's smart. Budgeting. You got to budget. You need to learn how to budget. Cindy is brilliant at it. She came up with a way of doing our budget many years ago, and I think she taught Bree how to do this with the envelopes. Is it not a great system? Are you using it? Okay. The envelope system, every week, what it is you have envelopes labeled up and you're putting your money in those envelopes a little bit at a time and doing what you need to do. All of this money management thing, because you're probably going, what does this have to do with our service? I'm going to tell you what it has to do. This is why Christian people are not being blessed. Because too many of us are not handling our money the way we should be handling our money. Just not doing it right. And you've got, now watch, and I'm not judging you, and I'm not criticizing you. I have lost a lot of money over the last 45 years. I've not always invested it in the right place. I've not always been as successful as I wanted to be, okay? But guess what? If your motive is to do it, you find the people who can help you and you start recreating money. Watch this. People who go through divorce there's a whole new start financially in their lives. Am I right, Christina? You're going through it? Whole new deal. Christina said to me recently, she said, God is so good. I started doing a whole new deal. And she goes, I got more money saved up now than I ever had the entire time I was married. I'm so much smarter now. Am I right? So it can turn around. Yeah, absolutely. But it didn't happen just overnight. No. Watch this. You can't be griping about being broke if you got time to go get another job. Okay? My daughter, Jessica, people have criticized her and Chad a little bit because they'd like to travel a lot. Oh, man, must be nice being young traveling. Here's the first thing Jessica will tell you. One of the reasons why my husband and I can do that is because we ain't got any kids. We don't have 3 or 4 kids. Am I right? Okay. Number 2, I work a full-time job and I work another full-time job. If you ask Jessica, she works on average 70 hours a week, every week. And I told her early on in life, while you're young, you can handle it. Now, when you get here, I'm having troubles getting through 8 hours, okay? But when you're young, you can work more hours to get where you need to get. You have to generate more income, okay? These are basic principles, but the problem is there's never an open forum. If you've got some financial questions, call Kathy up. She's in business to make money for her and her family as well. So she wants a client, okay? Get that. But if she doesn't have anything to help you with, she will give you advice, okay? I will give you advice, okay? You don't always have to take it, all right? But there's a person who's been involved. Jerry Amsbury's been, Katie is a CPA, okay? Matt is a business owner. Richard Anderson and Margaret have been business owners for years. And he will tell you, hey, sometimes I've done good, sometimes I've not done as good, okay? But here, you hedge your losses and your wins, okay? You're not going to always win all the time. Mike Mooney is an executive director of a big corporation and understands finances and money and fixing. We've all been there. Here, let's just help everybody out. Let's just be brutally honest with people on the Kramer Show. All of you who have ever had a financial problem and had to fix it, raise your hand, please. Great, hands down. All of you, you've at some point in life, you have made a wrong financial decision. Raise your hand. Casey, get it up there a little higher, Katie, because we got no CPAs do it too. Do what? What if you're sitting next to your financial problem? Yeah, no, you're so bad. First fruit offering coming up, April. You got to be a good steward. You got to start to prepare. We've done it every year. I share with you, God will not disappoint. I'm just telling you. Am I right or not? He's never disappointed. God will not disappoint your participation in the first fruit offering. Bring the tithes and the offerings into the storehouse. First Saturday of April is the first fruit offering. We give the Lord a reverse tithe, 90% of 1 week's income, and people go, what? And you live on the 10. You ain't going fishing. You ain't going out to dinner. You staying home conserving your gas. You go invite yourself over to your friend's house to eat, okay? And guess what? It's okay, because I can tell you right now, we have been doing it since it started, and the Lord has always met our financial needs. And we have been able to tap into the commanded blessing. We have. And here's the thing. It's not just for us. It's for all of you. You can tap into it, and you just got to learn, and you just got to move that direction, okay? If Kathy can get you her phone number, like I said, you can call her. Don't call her after 9 o'clock at night, because she's over 55. Just like, am I right? But you don't like getting calls after 9 o'clock, am I right? Hold on. Phil, do you like getting calls? No. After 9 o'clock, preferably no. I mean, just be honest about it. I tell people all the time. I told him this week. After work, give me a call. Don't call me after 9:30. At 10:15, my phone is vibrating. Now, I have enough time just getting asleep. Guess what it was? A text message. He had the audacity to send me a text message to wake me up. He didn't even call me. He sent me a text message. I will tell you the response I sent. Okay? I was not functioning in the pastoral at that moment, just so you know. Okay? Apostle, prophet, pastor, teacher, evangelist. All those hats were taken off. Over here, I picked up a hat that said, aggravated friend. Message sent, received, and very clearly stated. Okay? I was, as the Apostle Paul at that moment, speaking in a language that would be very understandable to him. Okay. All right. So funny. Emojis. God bless you. Thank you for coming tonight. I will see you next week. We're done. We're done. Michael, can you grab the offering plate? Tithes and offerings, come forward. God bless you. Thank you, Miss Linda, for playing the drums tonight. We got folks out of town, people coming back in town.